and you guys can do good too.
Oh, we're live. That means live.
Oh,
On BC.
action.
This is not Spirit Cars. This is Trinity Street Rods. We're going to go to Spirit Cars a little later. Sean and Tanya from Texas just got this awesome car. You didn't realize what an awesome car you got when you got it, I don't think. This is like history here. So we're going to go through it and we're going to make it safe. But this car was built, when was this built? Hey John, where are you going? You're Mr. Mopar, Big John.
56 and
I'd race in Nash if it was fast.
So it didn't run right. It wouldn't
Late
start.
50s.
You called me and said, "Hey, you need starter fluid." And I said, "Maybe a choke issue." Well, the choke is wired, so push it in to get it choking. And so you were diagnosing it. Tell us about the motor. I made you stop,
Well,
but come in closer here so we can get in the video.
what would you like to know?
I don't know. That these people just bought it. They want to know what the heck
It's not
it
a
is.
truck engine.
It's not a truck engine. It's a car motor, but it is a steel crank motor. And you can tell by the harmonic balancer. The intake is probably worth $750 alone. The Polydomes had a lot of performance and a lot of potential, and I don't know why Dodge went away from them. Yeah, it's all in the heads. This is basically a variant of a Hemi. So, and it has to do with the way the valves are canted in the head. The good news is it has a push button torque flight behind it. And that will bolt on to any late model Dodge motor all the way up to today's Hemis. So if you ever wanted to swap the motor to something later, I would. These are starting to get a resurgence. There's some guys that are starting to build these. Parts is kind of an issue.
I was just going to ask you, how big of an issue? But we started this earlier. It sounds strong.
Oh yeah, actually they came from the factory with 10.5 to 1 compression. And it, like I said, you ever seen the inside of a big block Chevrolet head, the way the valves are canted? That's these heads on this Dodge.
So this is a good motor.
Yeah, it's definitely a one-off motor that belongs in something like this. You could do something with a later engine and probably make some more performance, maybe a little cheaper because of the parts availability. But if this one, I don't know if it's going to overboard or anything like that.
We want to get up in the morning on a cold morning, maybe pump it a couple times and turn the key and have it start.
The very first thing I do is drop a EFI injection system on it, and that way it'll start. And the problem with all of these motors, it doesn't matter if it's Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, Pontiac, whatever, is carburetors and cold mornings. With the fuel injection technology that's out there today for under $1,500, you've got a car that will actually run cool and get gas mileage and start.
Well, let's not change too much nostalgia here, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Nostalgia is one thing,
And we're in
drivability is
Texas.
another.
Okay, well, so we're compromising drivability.
We're in Texas, so we've got heat on our side, except
Right.
for this time of year.
You guys come in and it's almost like this ain't your car. This is history. We're all drooling over it, and
Yeah.
it's like we want to build you what it is you want. You've got some kids. This is a Dodge Touring, probably a 14, 15. It's been changed and converted and probably built.
Maybe as late as the early 20s.
Yeah, could be.
It's called a 14, and they said something about 1930 in there as well. So.
Right. There's some cool things that have been done here. Come over here and look at this. Quite obviously the car has an electric fuel pump in it, because right here is where the mechanical fuel pump would bolt, and they made it into an
I
alternator.
didn't pay attention for the alternator bracket.
Yeah,
That
so
is a good
whoever
idea.
put this car together was pretty ingenious, and that's clean work.
It is clean work.
So
We need to deal with some brake issues in the front. They use some stuff that's just probably, I don't even, you know what that is? What'd you? We don't have calipers, obviously.
no, that's kind of an issue.
like
Yeah,
a
those,
chopper.
believe it or not, those are sprint car rotors.
There you go.
Those are sprint car rotors.
Okay.
So that,
So that
makes
should be
sense.
easy enough to find then. See, it's good to know
I
people.
know.
It's always good to know people.
The big thing is these headers are definitely homemade, and somebody would pull their teeth out to have them. To have them in that kind of shape is pretty
Sean was wanting to do trading earlier, and the only reason I didn't right away because I didn't want to cheat you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did tell you that though too.
Yeah.
as always.
My suggestion, if I was going to drive the car, is first thing is I'd put an electronic ignition in it. It still has points in it. I would drop an MSD box on it, and that'll help you start. The Carter that's on top of it is a variant of an old AFB. It's an Edelbrock, but it's a Carter, and we can rebuild the carburetor. But I would probably update that to at least a newer one with an electric choke on it, so it will start, or go fuel injection. And the thing about the fuel injection setups is they're clean. It looks like a carburetor base on there, so you're not going to lose the look. Actually, it's
We're
pretty
probably
hot.
putting a sniper on the old
Yeah.
six-cylinder in there.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So either a sniper or an FI, one or the other. Both systems I've done, and they both of them work very, very well. The good news about it is the torque flight, I can still get every part for it.
Nice.
So the transmission's solid as a rock, and it's a push button.
Yeah.
So
Pretty cool.
yeah, and the reason I say it's not a truck is because that push button is out of a '63 Belvedere, I think. So the cables, if they're still good and the buttons are still good, you've got it whipped.
You do have to kind of push it to click the other one out to get
Yes,
a little sticky.
that's the way it works.
Yeah.
The best thing that you can do is graphite, like we used to shoot in the logs. So don't spray WD-40 in there.
Okay.
Graphite it,
All right.
and they'll work forever.
I remember that.
But they're kind of making a resurgence, and
It's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
really like the
the only thing that
function
is
and
kind
not
of
having a big stick in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, or having to move around the rod.
the only thing that'll get you in trouble with this is it's in neutral right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on a hill, you're going for a ride. So make sure the emergency brake works.
The e-brake.
That's on the list of
It's
things
gotta be
to do.
fixed.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a park.
Right.
So
But we don't live. There's no hills. There is one hill, but
We got a
won't
couple
park
up
on
here.
it.
what part of
One.
Texas?
Arlington.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's mostly flat.
Yeah.
And we have a very flat driveway.
And that's an original Dodge steering column.
Yeah.
Love it.
This car has got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll get you to put together a couple options on the motor.
Well, first things first. One of the things that happened to all of these old motors, doesn't matter if it's polydome or early stuff, and I have no idea what kind of history this thing has. First things first, we pull the valve covers and we'll do a compression check. Normally what happened to these cars, especially with the points, is they burn valves. So hopefully everything's fine. And you say it runs, but it doesn't run.
No, it was not a motor issue.
Okay.
It's a carburetor issue.
Okay, good. Well, that's tremendous. Because if it's got good valves and we don't have to go internal,
No, it
everything's
got
fine.
all look. I think that's good.
Good deal. Everything else is
Yeah.
everything else is easy. But I think you guys did good. It's kind of, I wouldn't paint it. Leave it just like it is.
Yeah.
Leave it just like it is.
So you think this is what you're talking about? These are homemade?
Yeah, without a doubt. And somebody
They
did-
sound great. You haven't heard it yet, but
somebody did a good
And
job.
they did a good job too. They're not
Yeah,
just,
that's the thing. Now, the only thing that you could do to improve on them, and I highly suggest doing it, and you're going to have to send them off probably down to where you guys are at.
plain.
Yeah.
Chrome plate.
I wouldn't chrome them.
Oh no.
No.
Just cover just a black
They've got
finish.
No, well, they've got it in black and they've got it in matte silver. Actually, whatever color, but it's a ceramic coating that they're putting on the outside and the inside, and it actually reduces the heat, so you don't burn your leg getting in and out. Which you're going to burn your leg getting in and out.
Yeah.
one time.
So yeah, you do it
Don't
once.
do it twice. Once is all you want.
But it actually just adds years to the header. So because it's
Ceramic coat is the only thing we ever guarantee on chrome is it will turn blue and it will rust.
right.
That's the only guarantee you should get with chrome.
Yeah, but I
Well, she likes the black and not. And,
Oh, there you go.
You know.
yeah, that's a normal coating for them. You could buy headers for this thing, maybe. I think I know of Doug's headers may have a flange for this head, but I wouldn't change those.
Yeah,
for
how
anything.
would you? I mean,
I wouldn't
we
change
do make our own stuff here. We just put stainless headers on an old Chevy.
Yeah.
They did clean it
But
with
these
something.
these are nice. These are
Like,
done well.
The guy that sold it cleaned it with something and made it shiny, but then after they ran it,
Oh yeah, it's
turned
gonna
off.
it's gonna chalk up. Yeah,
But,
it's gonna chalk up.
if it doesn't, if nothing's going to change it to make it cleaner looking, then I like it the way it is, you know. 'Cause it's,
The only other
Sounds
thing that I suggest doing, and I'm sure you heard it when you started it, the old Chrysler started going. "Rrr, rrr, rrr." Okay. The later model starters in the truck like I'm driving bolt to that bell housing, and they're about that long, and they take up a whole lot less space and they're cleaner. And these starters are notorious, especially in the summertime, especially where you're going to be, is they kind of drop voltage because they've got so much slop in the armatures and all sorts of other things.
Okay.
But I would put a late model starter on it, and they're high torque, so that will improve your driving situation.
oh,
And that's cheap. I mean, you can go down to O'Reilly's, get another one, and that kind of updates you a little bit. As far as savability, buildability, you're sitting on a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah.
So,
This is like a barn find here.
yeah,
I'm excited, even if you're not.
without a doubt.
I am.
well, they pointed out the frame is not wimpy either.
No.
No, it's all.
No, it's a,
This will be a fun car.
and all of that, all the inlay and all the paint, that's all, somebody spent a lot of time here. And I wouldn't change any of it. I know some people would come in and say, okay, I want it this color and I want to do this. I wouldn't touch this car.
No.
This has got a whole bunch of cool. Matter of fact, I'd take it to Carlisle. And I'd go up there in June when the low part of meet is, and people will fall, they'll fall over.
I love
But
the
we
paint
need
job.
to get it done. We're having our grand opening here. I'll just change the tone.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we 30th of January. So if we hustle on this, we might could have it done. You can come pick it up
Yeah.
and be done then. That's the 30th of January. And we're getting it together. We got. Did you see our military section over here?
It's so cool.
It's like so cool. You're a military guy.
I drank a lot of
just missed
beer.
it.
What are you talking
Well, my opinion is it just doesn't matter what the jackass politicians did and what stupid war they got us into. The people that served their country, and they should be respected and honored because it gave us the freedom to think like this. Even we wouldn't even think like this if we didn't grow up in a free place where we weren't told what to do. So,
Yep.
and I'm the kind of guy, don't tell me what to do. It's
My
like,
dad did 2 tours in Vietnam and said I did one for me and one for my boys. So he said you're not going to the military. Otherwise I would have. I almost did, but he didn't want me to have to go through what he did.
But we got it's pretty neat. I'm looking for a "Don't Tread on Me's" flag and the 13-star flag, but
Okay.
I mean, it's the history of our country, so we need to recognize and do that. And thinking about this, I for a long time I did trigger time. We don't need trigger time right now. Right now, we don't need trigger time right now at all, and we don't need to go down no rabbit holes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down no rabbit holes. It's time we blow up the tunnels and hang the rat bastard traitors. But other than that, thinking about this car, this is what it actually brought to mind. The cloud of witnesses. There's so great a cloud of witnesses. So I got that one. And bottom line, this is all cool, but this is pretty temporary. So in Hebrews 12th chapter, therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin that clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of God, the throne of God. There are so many that have gone before us that made a way for us to even know what we have for our salvation. And it's awesome. And thinking about this car, I'm a hot rodder, but there's nothing new. I mean, we go to Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new under the sun. End of the story. Fear God and keep His commandments. There's some rules we got to follow here. Like you want to stop. We want to go fast. But once you're going fast, you want to have it under control. You want to be able to turn the turn and not go straight into the woods. So we're going to work on fundamentals for this car. And then once we get done with the fundamentals, this car could be around for another 50 years. Your kids might take this, and 50 years from now, there might be guys going, whoa, this is really from way back then.
100
So-
years old. Yep.
Yeah, there's absolutely no damage here that would cause it to be a concern.
No, this is just a cool find.
It's a time capsule.
It's a timepiece, a time capsule piece.
Well, the guy that built it had it until he passed, and
Did he?
it's been a couple of years. So,
Well, he had brakes on the front of it,
yeah.
and then they capped the lines with friggin' water caps, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I've
So
had leaks before, but that's probably some of the better leaks you're gonna get right there.
the
We'll deal with all that, and then,
are you going to try to fit a top on it?
it has a top. It's got a working top. that-
Yeah.
Eddie was looking, yeah. I know, look at this.
Custom
So-
top.
Okay.
All right, well, that's about it for today. The 30th of January, you can come see this car in person. And what's the old saying, be there or be square?
Yep.
So be there or be square. We're working on it. We're getting it together. We got all the other stuff going on. And 30th of January. And
Yep.
we'll make a plan for this and get on it. And hopefully we'll be done. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but we're going to work on it.
Sounds
Great.
good.
All right.
Target.
Till next time.